roll is called up yonder. See y'all out. I think we still got some, maybe a barrel or something. Isn't that all there? Anything going still going on? Yeah, we got some going. Y'all remember the way of announcements? Read the sign-up sheet back there. If you're interested in helping cook, we'll let you help cook. We don't find anybody cook. We'll come and show you what to do. The stuff will be back there. You just show up and cook. There's a sign-up sheet on that table. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, we'd be happy to have all of you here. We went from about 70 down to about 40, and we're building back up to about 60 or so. But we'd like to have all of you out on Wednesday night. We have classes for all types of, all ages of kids, adult class, men's adult class, women's adult class, and the youth. And most of the time we go outside and burn something, kind of fire. But we've got something for everybody. So y'all come down to 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. July the 2nd, our Rancho Hill, it's getting closer and closer. We got, what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks away? 2 weeks away, so we're going to have to get busy, and we need all the help we can get. There's a lot that goes on with that. Like I said, Joey will tell y'all all about it, but remember that July 2nd starts at 7. As far as I know, we're full on the teams, so I think we just want to get around 10. I think we got that, maybe I didn't have an extra one. I don't know. We usually try to leave maybe one spot but I don't know that we got one spot open, so, anyway, there's a possibility, nothing is stone, we're gonna, this is just a feeling, possibility of a 4-day barrel race the Sunday afternoon after that, after the, 4th of July, thing on the 2nd, if, it's just a feeler, we're sending out, see how many might can make it, see if it's a good idea or whatever, so, it's just something to talk about. September the 17th is Bible school. I think we announced the 16th last week, but it's the 17th Bible school, and we'll really start getting on that after the 4th of July then. So, Jennifer will be in charge of that if you want to help, if you want to do something, if you want to come and for the people and hand out cookies. If you want to do that, we'll be more than happy to let you. Is there any other announcements?
July 30th, church yard sale.
That's right. July 30th, church yard sale. Ms. Rhonda's gonna cook biscuits.
All donations going to the building.
Okay, all donations are going on the building fund, everything we make will go to this, paying us off. And we don't like it. And that's a good thing. Ms. Rhonda's gonna cook everybody's off and biscuit that morning.
I'll be there at 6. You can go live.
Okay, 6 o'clock. Be there at 6. Do you want us to bring that stuff a day earlier or just bring it that morning?
If anybody can't come, we can come early and we can go.
Okay. Okay. Well, y'all get ready for the yard sale. And anything you don't want, or you don't want your wife or husband out anymore, bring it.
We don't accept trade.
Don't accept trading?
I'll sell it.
All right.
Hey, before we do this song, Shelley talked about Wednesday night, and Joey was teaching the class, and he said something. I think I've said it before. He said this world is starving to death for something that's real. To break that down into Christian terms, people are tired of you telling them about this Jesus that lives inside of you. They want to see it. And I got to thinking about when I had a babysitter, I think it was 5 of us, and about 2 o'clock every day, we had red Kool-Aid and cookies. And we sat down and we talked around the table. When everybody got through, you didn't have to ask the one beside you what they had drinking. It was obvious. It leaves a stain on your lips. You may even have a red mustache. When you drink from the cup that Jesus has given you, you don't have to tell this world. This world should see it.
Some
pray. Father God, we come to you now. Lord, thanking you. Thanking you that you did not only shine your light, but you sent your light so that we do have access to you. We've got a way to be with you eternally. Lord, I pray that if there's one here today that doesn't know the way, who haven't had that light shine inside of them, Lord, I pray that they might be saved. Lord, I pray that everything that we do is done in accordance to your will. I pray that we make you happy with what we're doing. Shine your light in this church, Lord. Lord, I pray that we are like a mirror, we're just a red reflection of you that everybody else can see. Thank you for all you do for us. Watch over us. Direct our path in Jesus' name. Amen. Today is Father's Day. And Natalie came up last Sunday and said that Joey sort of got to her with what he preached about. So we're going to put her to use the first day she wanted to. First Sunday that she's going to get up here. But her and Charlie are going to sing this song. Y'all will know it.
Years of work.
really sort of goes hand in hand with what Mike was talking about. If you've been truly saved, just really and this song, it talks about that. It talks about being equal and searching for something. And where to find something that'll fill you up. If you're here today and you aren't searching, Jesus talked about living water. He's the well. He is the well for the living water. You get filled up with Him and you don't thirst anymore. That's what this song talks about. Leave it all behind. Leave it all behind. Leave it all behind. Leave it all behind. I have what you need. You keep on searching. Done all the work. You keep on working. When you're running on empty, you can't find remedy. Just come to the well. You can spend your whole life chasing what's missing, but that inside, it's just temporary. Nothing can satisfy when the world is like that. Just come to the world. Soon all the world will see that living water is found in me, 'cause you come to the well. Come back. All back. All back. Okay, y'all stand up again. With the angels on high, singing praise the Lord, He is alive. I saw the light, I saw the light, the Lord darkness, the Lord night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
you got your Bible this morning, go ahead and be turning to Deuteronomy chapter 6. That last song wasn't planned by them, or wasn't necessarily planned by me, but as I was sitting there, and as they were singing the last song before that, then I was thinking about, if we've seen the light, why is there so much darkness in our country? If we've seen the light, why is there so much darkness in our life? If we've seen the light, why do we keep our eyes closed so we can't see it and focus on it? I got some statistics for you this morning, and I wrote them down. And these statistics are a couple of years old, but they come from Josh McDowell and his ministry. And it's a scary thing whenever we start to look at where we are as a country in the last 40 years. In the last 40 years, we go back to, maybe that's like 1975 or so. The teen pregnancy rate in our country has increased 500% in the last 40 years. The suicide rate among young people in our country is up 300% since the 70s. Over 400,000 teenage girls will have an abortion this year. That average is over 1,000 a day. Abortions alone in this country are over 3,000 every day. Every day. Think about what that really means. To take it a step further, to think about things that are unseen, statistics show that over 4,000 kids, young people under the age of 19, will contract some kind of sexually transmitted disease every day. Every day. How did we get in the shape that we're in as a country? We can look at a lot of factors, we can look at a lot of different things, we can point out a lot of things that have gone wrong. We can look at where we focus and where we look at things. But I think the root cause of that is dads, we quit being dads. I know it's Father's Day, it's always been funny to me that it always seems on Mother's Day you lift the women way up high. On Father's Day you carry the men way down low. But the fact of the matter is, men, we're failing as men. We're failing to be the godly head of a household that we're supposed to be. We're not walking the way we're supposed to walk. We're not doing the things that we're supposed to do. And moms, you don't get out of this either. Moms aren't walking the way they want us to walk. They're not as faithful as they once were. Our families are falling apart because the glue that's supposed to bind us and hold us together is not there. We don't have Christ in the center of our lives personally. And if we don't have Christ at the center of our lives personally, we can't have Christ at the center of our lives relationally. And if we can't have Christ at the center of our lives relationally, we're trying to build relationships that we're trying to build. Not the relationship that God would have us build. You see, love, as what we think of love, from a standpoint of humanity, is failing. It's always going to be failing. Because it depends on us, and it depends on our feelings, and it depends on where we are, it depends on what we think, it depends on the environment around us and what's going on. And by our own, we can't love with someone without question, without fault, and without faith. Last night, we went to West Point, and we went to the little show thing down there, and we had a lot of fun. When we got done, we were done about 8 o'clock, and we decided to go to a restaurant by the name there in West Point and eat. And we got there, and We got there a little bit after 8, and all these people, there's not a lot in West Point for those that go to West Point. If you go to West Point, you don't have a lot of options of where you're going to eat. You just don't. There's like McDonald's, Popeyes, and then you've got a couple little sit-down places. But anyway, we walked in, and that place was bombarded with people all at once. And it was not that far from closing time. I'm sure they were thinking about, hey, we're about to go home. Well, they were surprised. They weren't about to go home. And anybody they let go home before that, they probably wish they hadn't when we all got there. Well, we went in there a little bit after 8. We got our food about 10 minutes to 10. But during that whole time, I'm sitting there, and our waitress apparently hadn't been on the job a long time. But she's taking our order, sort of, and it's just chaos, and she really don't know what to do. And every time that she walked back to that window at the back where there was a play desk, somebody was chewing her out. And I know that the people at the tables weren't just smiling and happy, so nobody at our table just snatched her up and, said anything bad, so they kind of felt like it. But every time she'd go to that window, they would chew her out. And she'd just stand there, and she'd walk away, and she'd come back, and she'd try to, they were making tea as fast as they could make tea, and they were doing everything as fast as they could. But still couldn't get it all done. And I'm sitting there thinking the whole time about whether or not, because I'm really not happy with the service. I'm not saying myself happy with the service, but the whole time I'm thinking whether or not she really deserves a kill. Because she is just, she's been pulled all kinds of different ways. Since she had done a better job yet, and she just got overwhelmed. And I've been there, where you're trying as hard as you can to get everything right. You're working, you're trying, you're working, and no matter how hard you work, the chaos just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They go to the fifth whenever we finally left. But I thought about the fact that those people that kept chewing her out at that window never once decided to help her through the process. All they did was just chew her out. You see, love is not chewing somebody out, but helping them to find a way to get it right. They should have come around the corner. The one woman that kept chewing her out, the guy who kept coming to the window, he could have walked around. He could have grabbed her and said, let me show you how to do it. Could have said, hey, let me get out there and help y'all get all these orders filled. Let me get all these glasses filled up. Let me get all this stuff done. Let me show you. But that's not the way we tend to live anymore. It's a whole lot easier just to cheat and just to tell people, you need to do this. And they walk away thinking, I don't even know what you really want me to do. Let me just go get a glass of water. Love, when we try to do it, is not ever going to be successful over the long haul if it totally depends on us. We look at what's going on in our country and what's falling apart. I want you to turn to Deuteronomy chapter 6 when we try to tie all this together. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 1. So now this is the commandment, the statutes and the rules that the Lord your God commanded me to teach you, that you may do them in the land to which you are going over to possess it, that you may fear the Lord your God, you and your son and your son's son, by keeping all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, all the days of your life, and that your days may be long. Hear therefore, O Israel, and be careful to do them, that it may go well with you, and that you may multiply greatly, as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has promised you, in the land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words that I command you today shall be on your mind. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and you shall talk with them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Let us pray. Father, I thank you for each and every person that is here today. And Father, now as we go into this time of study, Father, I ask that you would remove my words from me. Father, that you would replace them with yours and yours alone. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Now, a little background here, though. If you read chapter 5, you're going to see the 10 Commandments are repeated. The first time in your Bible you see the 10 Commandments is in Exodus chapter 20. And then they're repeated here in Deuteronomy chapter 5. And that chapter 6 is a continuation of that. And one of the things I want you to understand whenever you look at that, and I hope you go home and study some of this stuff after I throw it out on Sunday morning, because I can't give a whole lesson on some of this on Sunday morning. But in Exodus chapter 20, the 10 Commandments are being given to those who have come out of Egypt. Okay? By the time you get to Deuteronomy chapter 5, and Moses is re-emphasizing those commandments, almost all of those people who were adults in Exodus chapter 20 are dead. Okay? I want you to understand that. Whenever they had the opportunity the first time to go in and possess the land, and they wouldn't because they were afraid, God decided then that whole generation, those who were adults who could make that decision, were going to die in the wilderness. And they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. And if you read that story, you find that God, through different things that happened, mostly because of their unfaithfulness, they were all wiped out. So this re-emphasizing of the 10 Commandments that takes place in chapter 5 by Moses is to a whole new generation that is about to go in and possess the land. And in verse 2 is where I want you to really start. It says that you may fear the Lord your God, you and your sons and your sons' sons. Tell them the commandments that they're supposed to follow and that they're supposed to look at, and why is that? So that you will do it. But not just you, because it's not just about you. See, you can't live in a vacuum. Your children are not going to love people any more than you love them. They're going to love them less than you do most of the time. Your kids are going to go one of two ways. It's just the way it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're either going to be better than you or worse than you. They will not be exactly like you. They're either going to move toward the better side, or they're going to move toward the worse side. And far too often, they're going to step toward the worse side, unless you've been pushing them really, really, really hard toward the better side. That's just the way it is. Because each and every person is their own individual. And they're either going to be better than you, or they're going to be worse than you. And as Moses is talking to them here, you, your sons, and it's not just your sons, it's your sons' sons. It's not just your children, but your grandchildren. That you might fear the Lord. And it says, by keeping His statutes and His commandments, all the days of your life. I want you to think about that this morning, what it talks about there, with all the days of your life. See, generally we read that and we think about it from the standpoint of all the days of your life. Like being from the time you come to know the Lord to the time you die. Well, I want you to look at it a little bit differently this morning. When it says all the days of your life, one of the ways you've got to understand that for it to be all the days of your life, it means that you've got to live it out on Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday. And it doesn't matter if you live it out on Sunday and you don't live it out on Saturday. Your kids are going to focus on what you did on Saturday, not what you did on Sunday. If you live like hell on Monday and you take them to church on Sunday, don't expect what you give them on Sunday to overrule what you did on Monday. Amen. Because they're going to see and they're going to know and they're going to look at you and they're going to focus on what you say and what you do the rest of the week. If you don't live for Him through the week, it doesn't matter how you live for Him on Sunday. It's all the days of your life. The good days, the bad days. You see, far too often, we can praise God when it's great. We can pray to God when it's bad. We don't praise Him when it's bad. And we oftentimes don't pray to Him when it's good. And that is really important. But we don't focus on Him every day like we're supposed to. And as Moses tells us to keep the commandments every day of your life. When you get out of bed, you're supposed to think about it. And there's a promise that ends verse 2. It says that your days may be long. You know, we can look at the way the world says that we should live. And it comes down to the idea that if I'm wrong, if I'm completely wrong and Christ does not exist, and the folks who believe that when we die, we just go nowhere, we just go to the ground, and let's say they're right. Well, even if I'm wrong and they're right, if I look at it from just a scientific and common sense perspective of what we know about science, I'm going to live longer and be healthier most of the time than those who don't live that kind of life. Because it's a healthier lifestyle. So, if you're seeking after God, even if He didn't exist, you'd still be better off. But praise God, we know that He does. That's why you're here today. But we oftentimes don't realize that He gives us that promise. Does it mean that everybody's going to get that? No, we live in a fallen world. So there's going to be death, there's going to be hurt, there's going to be disease. But it says with a promise that your days may be long. He goes on to say that whenever they go in, says that it may go well with you. When I think about the things in my life that have created me the most headaches and the most trouble, far too often those things were created when I weren't seeking after God. Whenever I was outside of His will, when I was outside of doing what He would have me do, and the consequences of my sin begin to come home and roost. You see, whenever you come to know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, your sins are covered, but He doesn't wipe out your consequences. He will give you the strength to walk through them if you depend on Him. And grace allows you to walk through them and come out the other side still praising Him, but the consequences of the mistakes you make are there. Your consequences that would come in eternity are completely blotted out. Salvation covers that sin so that eternal life may come in you. But whenever we trip, stumble, and fall, there's going to be consequences. Whenever you are walking in life and you're walking across the gravel and you trip and stumble and fall, you're going to scratch your knees. And it's going to hurt. But if you get up and you start walking again, the scratches are going to heal. Spiritual life is the same way. There's going to be times where you're going to trip, stumble, and fall. But He's going to reach down and pick you up, and you get up and you begin to walk again, and the hurt and the pain from the fall begins to go away. And it begins to go well with you as long as you're walking with Him. Now, verse 4 and 5 are two of the most powerful verses in all of Scripture. Jesus repeats this Himself in Luke chapter 10. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." Verse 5, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might." That means with all that is within you. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Making Him the focus of your life. When you rise up in the morning and you lay down at night. When you walk in the streets. When you walk in the workplace. Wherever it is that you go, you are to keep Him Lord of your life. There's not a place that you get to go that you get to turn that off and expect the blessing to continue to come. Every time you turn it off, you can expect things to get a little different. They always seem to. But now we get into, in verse 6, to where He says, "And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart." You're supposed to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And the commandments that He tells you to keep, you're supposed to keep them on your heart. The heart, as it is translated, is the center of emotion in Western society. You may have a translation this morning that instead of saying heart, said the heart there says bowels, the innermost of your being. You're supposed to keep His word at the focus of the center of all the world. Why is that? Why is it good that you do that? Not only is it good for you, but as we continue to go down, it says in verse 7 that you shall teach them diligently to your children. There's not a person here today who doesn't want better for their children than they have for themselves. Regardless of what you had when you were growing up. You may have lived a childhood of privilege or a childhood of need either way, but you still want to give your children more and better than you have. You want to give your kids as much as you can possibly give them. Well, in America today, we have focused so much on giving them stuff that we didn't have. It's amazing to me that the job that I'm doing right now, I end up at a lot of schools. High schools and junior colleges and been at most of the universities. And it is amazing that one of the number one things they're constantly dealing with is parking. Because there's just not enough parking. There's not enough places to park all the cars that are coming. And I remember whenever I got my first truck, and I remember how much of a privilege it was for Mom and Dad to give me that truck and me to be able to go and do whatever I wanted to do. But then I also look back at my sisters, and the idea of them having a vehicle whenever they were 16 years old was just not going to happen. I remember when Donna was going to Northeast and catching the bus to Northeast. Now, for some of you that are going to junior colleges now, you can't imagine having ridden the bus all the way through 12 years of high school and then going to catch the bus to go to college. You can't imagine that. Well, today we want to give our kids, they turn 16, they get their driver's license, we're trying to figure out how to put them in a car. We're trying to figure out how to give them a way to go. We're giving them cell phones when they're 8 and 9 years old. Like they really got to hold those people they need to talk. We're giving them the worldly things that we didn't have when we were growing up. But we're failing to give them the most important things that we were given when we were growing up. A sense of responsibility. A willingness to work. A willingness to help others. You see, those things come from a foundation focused on godly values and a Christ-centered life. We're not giving that to our kids. Why are we not giving that to our kids? We're going to pick that up now. It says in verse 7 that you shall teach them diligently to your kids. But when? It goes on to say, you shall talk to them when you sit in your house. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how busy your life is. I know how busy mine is. I can't tell you the last time I just sat down in the house and it's just me, Greta, and the kids. Because there's never a time. It's wide open all the time. And most of the time when we do sit down, the first thing that we're doing is looking for the remote control. Where's the remote? Turn the remote on. TV gets turned on. I'm going to say there's some houses in here, the TV never turns off. It stays on for the cat or the dog. Whenever you go out, you put it on the dog channel. Let the dog watch television all day. Or the cat. There is a dog channel, but there's not a cat channel. I don't know why that is. The cats don't need to watch. But anyway. But your TV is the first thing that you turn on. We have lost the art of conversation. We have replaced true friends with Facebook friends. I don't know how many Facebook friends I've got, but it's like a whole bunch of them. And I seen somebody yesterday, and I was talking to them, and I know them just a little bit, and I said something to them, and they said, oh, we're friends on Facebook, I know about all of that. Okay, didn't you know? But we've replaced genuine relationships with some kind of pseudo relationship that we don't really have to get involved. You see, Facebook, you share all the stuff that you want to share. And some people, you share too much. Okay? but you never have to get involved. You never have to see someone whenever they're going through the struggles in life. You never have to be there to reach out and help them up. It's a whole lot different to type praying for you than it is to put your hand on their shoulder and say, I'm praying for you. To pat them on the back and say, good job. To see them whenever it's going all bad. For those barrel racers, when you're making that run, you just crash the barrel. And you're mad at the world. And you come out the other side. Somebody to be there and just pat you on the leg and say, hey, sorry. You get it next time. Relationships. We're missing relationships. It says, whenever you're sitting in the house to teach God's Word. You see, that's the commandments that they're talking about here. We get so caught up on semantics. Oh, well, we got to teach the commandments. My kids know. No, it's talking about sharing God's Word in your relationship with Christ when you're sitting in the house. Turn the TV off and have a conversation. We don't do that anymore. The next thing it says, and when you walk by the way. You know, about the only time that we actually slow down and walk with our kids anywhere and spend just that quiet time with our kids outside the house walking in God's world is maybe on vacation, 1 week out of the year. And we pack that so full of activities that we never slow down and just hang out. We got to go somewhere. We got to do something. Our vacation will be in Jackson, Mississippi this week at a horse show. That will be our vacation for the year, and we'll be ripping and romping and running all over that place trying to get horses ready, get this done, and get that done. And really, truly, most of the week, we'll spend the whole week mad at each other. That's the way that is. If we're mad at each other, mad at all. It's somebody's fault. And we spend the whole week that way. And we never sit down and just walk down the road. We don't, as a family, we end up in the arena so much time we don't trail ride. A lot of you can do some trail riding. But some of the best times I ever had was trail riding. Just riding and being able to talk. Being able to talk to people and build relationships. You're not going anywhere fast whenever you're on the horse. Going hunting, walking through the woods, and hanging out with your kids. Some of you, hopefully, have done that, talk to your kids, and you're not guilty of doing what I've oftentimes done, walking through the woods, when you pick up your feet. And I'm sure nobody else has ever done that. Sitting there, you know, little squirrels playing, and, oh, there's a squirrel, jump! And that's what we end up doing. And not focus on the opportunity that, hey, there's a squirrel. And your 4-year-old sees the squirrel, and he's excited about the squirrel, and he wants to shoot it. That there's that opportunity that you could explain how God's providing for the squirrel. Now, that squirrel's raking around in the leaves, and he's trying to find last fall's anchor to take home for dinner. And you can explain how God's going to take care of you the same way. That whenever the need is there, not necessarily the want, when the need is there, He's going to give you last year's anchor to take home. But instead, I'm like slapping him on the head. Shut up, you're going to scare off the deer. If I kill the deer, it means I got to drag the thing out, and it really, it's easy to go by hamburger. But we don't spend that time. Quality time. When we walk by the way, when we sit in our house, when you lie down at night. The greatest regret that I have in the raising of my children is the fact that I didn't take advantage of the times I had to touch them. The number of times I didn't take advantage of opportunities to be there at the end of the day. To say, how was your day? To reinforce by asking them what kind of day God has given them. To hold them accountable. No, far too often, it's like, go to bed, it's 8:30. It's 9 o'clock, get in bed. It's the way that tends to happen. Maybe it doesn't happen at your house. Maybe I'm just preaching to me this morning. Y'all may have all this together, and I'm the only one that don't. I don't know. But I need it. But when we lie down, and when you rise up, when you get out of bed in the morning, when we get out of bed in the morning, it's amazing to me that we have church here. I'm usually here, but no later than 8 to 8:15 at the latest, and most Sundays it's a little bit after 7 that I get here. And it's amazing to me that we can get up and get here by 8 o'clock. And when we were going to Cherry Creek and was over there for years and teaching Sunday school and stuff, I couldn't get there by 9:45 to save my life. 10 o'clock was a struggle. I come rolling in at 10 o'clock, and I got a class that starts at 10 o'clock. And by the time we get there, everybody's mad at everybody. Because you get up and you start hollering, where's your clothes? Where's this? Where's that? And you're trying to get breakfast, and the last thing you get a Pop-Tart that's cold, and you ain't got time to eat it. Everybody's running around looking for stuff. Kids come out and look like little ragamuffins because you're just trying to push them out. And before you know it, you get to church and you fuss all the way up there, and you get out of the car, and all of a sudden it's instantly like, and you walk in like it was great. Praise the Lord. We are here in the house of God. And we just nearly killed each other, didn't we? And you get out and you get in the car and you get ready to leave, and the devil says, you remember where you were this morning? And the next thing you know, you fight all the way home until next Sunday morning, you're smiling. Again, y'all may not have that. I might be the only person in here who's doing that. When you rise up, when you wake up in the morning and your eyes open, that was a gift from God. He didn't have to let you get up. When you wake up, especially when you got little bitty kids, and it's a Saturday, and you've had a hard week, and you're thinking that you're going to sleep late, and at 15 minutes to 6, one of them lands in the middle of your bed. Are you praising God that they're there to land in the middle of your bed? Or are you trying to figure out how to go back to sleep? Far too many times in my life, I was trying to figure out how to go back to sleep. And miss the opportunities to be able to share and to instill in them a value of what God is supposed to mean in our life. To make Him real in my life. Is God real in your life? You know, we said here, we sing, I saw the light. If you saw the light, why are you so dim? If you've seen the light, you sharing the light. Verse 8, it says, you shall find them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. What that means is if you're walking with the Lord, doesn't mean that you're supposed to take the Bible verses and tie them on your forehead. So in Jesus' day, that was one of the things that the Pharisees did. And they would have these little things on their shirts where you could see them. They'd walk down the street and say, oh, that is a godly man because he's got all of this stuff. And they would put these little things on their doors and put blessed scriptures in them. When they walk in every day, they'd touch that. Now what that's really saying is, if I'm around you, I should know that Christ is in you. Amen. If you're around me, you should know that Christ is in you. Now, I want to say, is it going to be that way for you every single day? No. You're going to fall. But just because you fall doesn't mean you got to lay down and roll around in what you fell in. You get up, get moving, and show Christ. Moms, dads, we've got to start teaching our kids. Or the statistics I started out with are just going to go up and up and up. And our cooking You look at our country and you wonder, why is it where it is? It's falling apart. How are we going to fix it? You're not going to fix it if you fix you. Amen. The country can't fix you. Only you can fix you. And if everybody in the country gets fixed, the country will get fixed. But it's got to start with you. You can't change somebody else till you change you. And if you have kids in your life, you have the opportunity to change the next generation. God has put you there to be able to share Him, His statutes, and His commandments with your kids, your grandkids, with other kids that you come in contact with. We've got people in here who don't have kids, but they got dozens that they take care of, that they watch after, that they are there with, and pouring themselves into those kids. Every one of you in here has the opportunity to pour into somebody. But you got to get it right yourself. That's why that starts out with love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. Because if you don't love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, you're not going to be able to help someone else come to that relationship. My challenge for you this week is the same one I give you just about every week. If you profess Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, act like it. If you have the opportunity to turn the TV off and share it, turn it off. To take a kid and walk through the woods, take the opportunity. Slow down. The years pass faster than you realize. And you look back and you go, where did it go? They're gone. Then the grandkids come along, and you look back, and they're gone. And you wonder where did it go? Don't waste the opportunity. That's why it talks about when you rise up in the morning, when you lay down at night, and all the time in between. Live the cross. Share it. The impact will be unimaginable at how much grace can do in your life and the lives of others if you're just simply willing to live for Him. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for the fact that you love us. Father, I thank you that we can come together. Father, I ask that you guide us and direct us. And Father, help us to profess your Son and Savior, to live like it, to live like it. Father, help us as parents to be willing to live a life that instills in the next generation a love for you, a desire to live for you, a willingness, Father, to be used by you. Father, I thank you for all the things that you do for us, all the things that you give us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.